I'll call you back. Thank you. And where do we see that a Kodesh Baruch Hu was? Where do we see that a Kodesh Baruch Hu was maskim to the fact that he added this extra day? Very, very simply, the Loshar Yeshchina Atzaf for the Shabbat, because Lamaisa Kodesh Baruch Hu only revealed himself Shabbos morning, which was 3 days hence, not 2 days hence. So you see, Moshe Rabbeinu, with Moshe Rabbeinu, HaKadosh Baruch Hu agreed to the Moshe Rabbeinu's extra day. Number one. Then it says, Upirish Minayisha. Oh my God. One second. Upirish Minayisha. So Moshe Rabbeinu also separated from his wife. My Dorish. What was Moshe Rabbeinu thinking? He made a personal kal v'chomer. The revelation at Har Sinai was only a temporary revelation. Hashem came down to give the Aseret Adibros to Klal Yisrael. In fact, Chazal tell us that we only were able to listen to 2 of the Dibros, Anochi and Lo Yelecha. And after the 2 Dibros, Klal Yisrael came to Moshe and said, we can't take this. And Moshe gave us the other 8. But with our own ears, we had heard that at least 2 Dibros. One of the reasons we know that, because it says Torah Tziva Lanu Moshe. Torah B'Gematria is 611. So because we received 611 of the mitzvahs directly from Moshe, and 2 were directly from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that's Taryag. So, the Shechina only appeared for temporary. Not only that, Kol V'Lehem Zman, and there was a date set for it. Hashem said, in 3 days or 2 days, I'm going to come down and appear. Amra Toira Vayunechonim Al Tikshu Elisha. There was the mitzvah of Hafrosha. The people had to be B'Tahara. Like we learned yesterday, even a woman that the Shechva Zera, after intercourse, was inside of her for 3 days, it would have Tumah. They had to wait. After 3 days, if the Shechva Zera inside a woman would be Masriachit, so that it would not have the capability of fertilizing. And then we said it's not Matame anymore. So that's what was the purpose of the Shlosha Yemei Hagbala, or the Shlosha Yemei Hafrosha. And so you see that there had to be abstinence from sexual relations prior to Matan Torah. Ani, myself, Moshe Rabbeinu is referring to himself. So Moshe Rabbeinu, it says Vayikra El Moshe, right? The beginning of Sefer Vayikra. Because Hashem could call to Moshe anytime. He had to be ready anytime. He wasn't given a date, on such and such date I'm going to appear to you. Hashem could appear to him at any time. Ve'elizman. Alachas kama v'kama, that unfortunately Moshe said, I can't live a married life. I can't live with my wife Tzipora, because I always have to be in a constant state of readiness to have the Shechina appear to me, and it was impossible for him to carry on a married life. That's why he had to be porish from his wife. Where do we see that eventually Kodesh Baruch Hu accepted this? He was maskim to this. Dichsiv, after Matan Torah, there's a pasuk that says, Lech emor lahem, shuvu lachem le'ohalechem. So after the Matan Torah was completed, Moshe was told to tell the people, okay, now you can go back to your wives. Uksiv basrei ve'ata po amod imadi. But you, Moshe, have to stand with me. So that was the signal that Hashem was maskim to what the one else can go back to their wives except Moshe. The isti amri pel daber bo. And another time where we see that Kodesh Baruch Hu was maskim is later on when Aaron and Miriam, they say Lashon Hara about Moshe Rabbeinu, ki ishachu shis lakach, the whole thing, we are also Nevi'im, and why did he have to separate from his wife? We didn't separate from our husbands or our spouses. That was the debate between Aaron and Miriam over there. And Hashem had to explain to them, his nevuah is different because I speak to him differently, I appear to him differently. So what are you saying, Lashon Hara against Moshe Rabbeinu? So there you see very clearly that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is maskim to the fact that Moshe separated from his wife. Then the third thing was Shiber Saluchos, that Moshe Rabbeinu broke the luchos. My Darsh. Why did he break the luchos? Omar. Uma Pesach, the mitzvah of bringing the korban Pesach. Shu echad mitarig mitzvahs. It's only one of the 613 mitzvahs. Amra terv'chol ben nechar lo yochal bo. A person who doesn't believe in Hashem, or who is a mummer, says Rashi, that his actions are ugly in front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and it's someone who doesn't believe in Hashem. He cannot eat the Korban Pesach, so HaTorah Kulaka. Here, I'm trying to give Klal Yisrael not one mitzvah, the whole mitzvah, the whole Torah, Tayig mitzvah. The Yisrael Meshumadim. And Klal Yisrael are as if they've converted to another religion because they're worshiping the Egel. Halachas kama v'kama, they don't really deserve the Torah. Uminolan v'hiskima kodesh baruch hu al yado shenemar, it says haluchos asher shibarta v'amarish lokish yasher koach shibarta. It's a play on words. He gave him a yasher koach that he broke it. And Rashi says ishur, like a permission. She ishru b'shibchu al shvirasa. He was praised, like ashrei yoshvei beisecha. That happy, he was happy that the luchos were broken. Toshma. It says vayunachonim layom hashlishi. It says, be prepared for the third day. But remember, according to Rabbi Yossi, who says that they added an extra day, would be Hayuna Chalim Yom Ravi, right? Kasha Rabbi Yossi. Hamin Yom Echad Yossi Posh Midaito. So Toshma means Shlishi B'Chodesh. It's the third day of Sivan, Shlishi B'Shabbos, and the third day of Shabbos, which is now a problem for the Chachamim because the Chachamim say Rosh Chodesh was Monday. So Shlishi would have been Thursday, not Wednesday. That's not a kasha, because that price that you just quoted is only according to the sheet of Rabbi Yossi, who said Rosh Chodesh was Sunday. So the third day was indeed Wednesday. Now, Shlishi, Lemai. What is this Shlishi referring to? It says, Vayashav Moshe Tivram al Hashem. Moshe returned the words of Klal Yisrael back, Nasav and Ishma. Uksiva gave Moshe Tivram al Hashem. Then again it says that he again spoke the words of the Am to the Shem. What is this dialogue? Ma Amar LaKadosh Baruch Hu Moshe, Umar Moshe Yisrael. What's the chronology? What did HaKadosh Baruch Hu say to Moshe? What did Moshe say to Yisrael? Umar Yisrael Moshe. How did Yisrael respond? Umar Heshiv Moshe Lifnei Gvura. What did Moshe respond to Hashem? Zu mitzvah sakbala, div Rabbi Yossi Rabbi Yehuda. It was the tzivoy of staying away from the mountain, and then they accepted it. That's Rabbi Yossi Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Oimer Betchila pirish oinsha. First, they were told the punishment of any who comes close to the mountain. That's sakol yisakel or yaro yareh, right? The words that scare people. Afterwards, they were told the reward of keeping the Torah, all the various rewards. Those are good, kind words. Other people say, no, that initially he was told the reward. Things that relax people. The yaged is like a gid, is like a tendon that's being torn. Toshma says shishi b'chodesh, shishi b'Shabbos. When it says shishi, it says it was the 6th day of Sivan, and it turned out to be Friday. Well, that's a problem for the Chachamim who say that the 6th of Sivan that year was Shabbos, because they say Rosh Chodesh was Monday. Or it says Hanami Rav Yosi, who said that Rosh Chodesh that year was Sunday. The shishi lemai. What does it mean shishi? Rav Amar l'chaniyasa. Rav says it was the 6th day from when they encamped by Midbar Sinai. Rav Acha bar Yaakov Amar l'mason. It was the 6th day that they had traveled from their last resting spot in Refidim. Because according to Rav Acha bar Yaakov, they left Refidim and they arrived at Midbar Sinai the same day. According to Rava, we'll see they learned that they had left the previous day Shabbos and then only came on Sunday. Now, how could they leave on Shabbos? What about Tchum? So we're going to see. The kamiflagi b'Shabbos demar. There's a machlokas exactly what halachos they were taught in Mora. Remember, after Yam Suf, they went 3 days. It says below Mayim, and they came to Mora, and Moshe Rabbeinu had to sweeten the waters of Mora. Chazal learned that the 3 days below Mayim really refers to 3 days below Torah. And at that time, Moshe made a takana that we read the Torah we don't go 3 days without reading the Torah, because water is compared to Torah. But there is a tradition that we received some of the mitzvahs at Mora. Shabbos, Kibud Avayim, and Para Aduma, according to one pshat. Rashi brings the pshat, if you look in Rashi in Chumash, but there's a machlokas Chazal exactly what was taught there. But everybody holds that Shabbos was one of the dinim that they got. That means when they got Shabbos by Matan Torah, it wasn't the first time that they learned, because it says, Shamor es Yom HaShabbos lekotzo kasher tzivcha. Keep the Shabbos the way you were commanded. Well, where were they commanded? They were commanded before in Mora. Right? Tichsiv kasher tzivcha Hashem lokach. Amrav Yidam Rav kasher tzivcha b'Mora. So Mar Sover Ashabbos Ifkid Atchumin Lo Ifkid. That they were not given the din of Tchumin yet. So therefore, according to that pshat, like they were allowed to travel from where they were prior to Midbar Sinai to get to Midbar Sinai, to Har Sinai, because there was no problem of traveling in the Tchum. Umar Savar, the one Rav Acha bar Yaakov who said that on Sunday when they arrived on Echad B'Sivan, they had left Refidim and they had arrived to Har Sinai the same day. Why? Because at Tchumin Nami Yifkid, they were also given the dinim of Tchumin. If they were given the Tchumin in Mara, they would not be allowed to travel more than 2,000 amas, because the din of Tchum is you can't travel 2,000 amas. So they would not have left the previous encampment on Shabbos. They would have waited till Sunday, which was Echad B'Sivan, and the same day that they left, the same day they arrived. Period. Toshma. Nisan Shabo Yatsu Yisrael Mitzrayim. So the Gemara is going to give us the exact days of the week of Pesach Mitzrayim, right? So on that year, Barbasar Shachtu Pischayim, they shechted their Korban Pesach on the 14th. Uvachamisha Asar Yatsu, they left on the 15th. Vila Erev Loku B'choros. At night, the Makas B'choros took place. Frank Gemara, La Erev Sok at night? What do you mean? The night after the 15th? No. Elamiba Erev Loku B'choros means for the night before. And here comes the punchline. The Oso Hayom Chamishi B'Shabbos Hayom. I mean, in Pesach Mitzrayim, they left on a Thursday. It means they shechted the Korban Pesach on a Wednesday. That was the 14th. And the day they left Mitzrayim was a Thursday. Now, Midcha Meitzer B'Nissen, Chamisha B'Shabbos. Now, if the 15th of Nisan was a Thursday, so they do a calculation. Nisan is always a mole, right? The cycle of the moon is about 29 and a half days. So the Jewish calendar, some of our months are 29 days, some of our months are 30 days. So it's a tradition that Nisan is always mole. So if Nisan is mole, and it's going to be a 30-day month, and the 15th of Nisan was a Thursday, Reish Yacha de Iyar Shabta. It comes out that Rosh Chodesh of Iyar that year was Shabbos. And then if you calculate from there, because usually the months cycle. 1 month is 30, the next month is 29. Next month is 30, next month is 29. So if Nisan that year was 30, Iyar must have been 29. Based on that, Reish Yarcha de Sivan is Chad B'Shabbos. Right? We had the whole machlokas between Rabbi Yossi and the Chachamim. Rabbi Yossi held that year Rosh Chodesh Sivan was a Sunday, and the Rabbanon held it was a Monday. So, but based on this Baraisa, which tells us that the year
Ernie, but we know that it's 8. Basically, it's 12 to 5. So it's 7 to 5. Not every month is Malay Chaser. Doesn't work that way.
Well, every month, remember, works by a day Re'iyah. Sometimes they were 29, sometimes they were 30, based on the Eidim coming.
But Pesach, we know because of Shua. Anyway, yeah. But it's not.
No, Rashi says, Sherei Nisan Mole Hula Oilam, V'Reish Yarchad D'Sivan B'Chad B'Shabta, because they're calculating in the Havamina here that ER is Chaser, because usually, Walter, if you have 6 months that are 30 and 6 months that are 29, that's how you get 354 years.
Doesn't work like that.
Yeah, it works like that because you only have 2 choices, 30 and 29.
No.
Now, yes, in practicality, there were some years where you had 2 30-day months following each other based on whether the Adim came and saw the new moon and gave testimony. So if they didn't, you might have 2 months that were 30 and 30. That's what you're referring to. But basically, this analysis is going.
It's not exactly 29 and a half. It doesn't work out like that.
It is. You have only 2 choices for months. Either it's a 29-day month or a 30-day month. There's no other choice.
But we'll discuss this. I'm telling you that that's not the correct phrase. Like, okay.
You can only have 2 kinds of months: a 29-day month or a 30-day month.
But it doesn't work 6 and 6. Okay.
Yeah, you can have 8 and 4 as well. In certain, based on the
exactly. That's what I'm saying. So that this year it worked out the same way, where Pesach was on Thursday, and now we come to the same thing. Shavuos is on comes out the same days, because it's a.
No, but remember, there's a machlokas.
No, Pesach was on Wednesday night.
Exactly.
There's a machlokas, but right now we're dealing with the machlokas Tanoim of when was Rosh Chodesh Sivan, the year they went on what day of the week. Rabbi Yossi held it was Sunday. The Rabbanon held it was Monday.
It was Friday.
It was Monday. That's when Rosh Chodesh Sivan was. That's why we said, according to the Rabbanon, Matan Torah, everyone agreed Matan Torah was Shabbos. The only question was it the 6th of Sivan, was it the 7th of Sivan? So according to Rabbi Yossi, it was the 7th of Sivan. We learned that last night. according to the Chacham, was the 6th of Sivan. And their machlokas is what day of the week did Rosh Chodesh Sivan fall on? According to Rabbi Yossi, it's Sunday. Rabbanan, it's Monday. So now we're bringing the following brisa that says that the year they left Mitzrayim, the first day of Pesach was Thursday. Therefore, according to the calculated Chazal, Rosh Chodesh Iyar was Shabbos. That's based on the fact that they're assuming that Nisan was a mole. And then they say Rosh Yarcha de Sivan is Chad b'Shabbos because they're assuming that Iyar was definitely Chaser, leading to it being Sunday, Kasha l'Rabbanan. That's how the Gemara has developed its Kasha, because the Chacham has said that Rosh Chodesh Sivan was Monday, not Sunday. So now, what do the Chachamim say?
Ernie, why is it the whole basis of this is based on the assumption that Yetzias Mitzrayim was Thursday night?
Thursday
during the day. But we don't bring any proof. It just kind of glosses over that point.
No, it's a baraisa. Nisan shebo yotzu Yisrael mitzrayim, ve'arba asar shachtu pischayim, uve'chamisha asar yotzu, and then it says ve'oso hayom chamishi b'Shabbos hayom.
So how does the brisa know that?
That's a Masorah, Torah Shabbal Peh, that came down from the times of Moshe Rabbeinu till the time of Rebbe, who codified the Mishnah. Now, a baraisa is those Tanaitic pieces of literature that were set aside, not codified by Rebbe as canonical, and they were told that Rabbi Chia and Rabbi Shaya codified the baraisas. And as you know, many times we bring a baraisa to either support a Mishnah or to ask a kasha of the Mishnah. So Torah Shabbat Peh is a Masorah. So this issue of what day of the week it was came down to tradition that it was a Thursday. Osayom Chamishi b'Shabbos hayom. That's the baraisa. Period. Now comes the Gemara in Bavel, 200 years later, but Ravina Ravashi, from the year 200 to year 400, are analyzing this baraisa, and they're pointing out that the baraisa tells us that year, 2440, year 2448, that specific year when they came out of Mitzrayim, the Geula took place on a Thursday. Therefore, Rosh Chodesh that year for Iyar was Shabbos, because Nisan is always a mole. And then, since Iyar is being calculated by Chazal, according to this Havamina, as a Chaser, Yeshiarcha de Sivan ends up being Shabbos. Chad b'Shabbos ends up being Sunday. Kasha l'Rabbanan. So now we have a Kasha on the Chachamim who said, no, Rosh Chodesh Sivan that year was Monday, not Sunday. Amri l'cha Rabbanan, Iyar dahi shaita iburi abrua. Ein achanami, even though normally Iyar is a Chaser, like Walter said, that year it was Mole because the Eidim didn't come and it was a Mole month. So it pushed off Rosh Chodesh Sivan by one day to Monday. That's how the Rabbanon learned. Everybody with me so far? Everybody agree that that's the Mahalach of the Gemara? Yes. Okay. Toshma Dulo Abrua. Now the Gemara is going to quote a Baraisa that shows that no, they did not add an extra day to Iyar that year. Where do we see that? They have another brisa. Nisan shebo yotzi from Mitzrayim barbasar shachtu pischayim. That there was they shechted the Pesach on the 14th. B'chamisha asar yotzu. V'la erev local b'choros. Again, the Gemara asks, la erev soket daitich. The Makas b'choros didn't occur after the 15th. Ela ema miba erev. That means the night before local b'choros. V'oso ayom chamishi b'Shabbos hayom. That year, the 15th was a Thursday. Then this brisa has another word, Hishlim Nisan. That means Nisan was a mole. It had 30 days. The Ira Iyar Lios b'Shabbos. And Rosh Chodesh Iyar landed on the Shabbos. Says the brisa, Choser Iyar. Right, this brisa has more words than the other brisa that we quoted. It was a different brisa that gave us more detail. That said that year, Iyar was not a mole. They were not ma'aber that month, that year, but it was a chaser. And therefore, Ira Sivan Lios Be'echad B'Shabbos. And therefore, this brisa says, Rosh Chodesh Sivan occurred on Sunday. Again, Kasha Rabbanon, who say it occurred on Monday. And for the Rabbanon, Homani Rabbi Yosi. You can't bring me a kasha from that brisa. You know who the author of that brisa is? It's Rabbi Yosi, who holds in a Chanami that Rosh Chodesh that year occurred on Sunday. But we don't agree. But that brisa is a das yachid, only Rabbi Yosi. Full stop. Rav Papa, the new sugya, Toshma. It says, Vaisume Elim. This is before Matan Torah in ER. They left Elim. Vayavog kol adas bnei Yisrael midbar sin. Asher bein Elim uvein Sinai. The pasuk. This is a pasuk in Beshalach, Parshas Haman. It says, "B'chamisha asar yom." On the 15th day, lachodesh hasheni, the second month. What's the second month? ER. Let's say tam me eretz Mitzrayim. So b'chamisha asar yom lachodesh hasheni. Says the Baraisa also ayom Shabbos hayah. So the day that they were told about Mon was Shabbos. Ichsiv uvoker urisemes kvod Hashem. They were told tomorrow morning, Sunday morning, you're going to see the Kvod Hashem in the fact that He's going to bring you Mon. Uksiv sheishes yamim til ketu. And then they were told, you know what? You're going to pick up Mon for 6 days. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then on Shabbos, it's not going to fall. And now the Gemara makes its calculation. You've just proven to me that the 15th day of Iyar that year was Shabbos from this Baraisa, Reish Yarcha Desivan Chad B'Shabbos. If you calculate out when Rosh Chodesh Sivan would occur, on what day of the week comes out, it's Sunday again. Again, Kashal Rabbanon. It's not a kasha. That year, fine. The 15th day of Iyar was in a Chanami Shabbos, but Rosh Chodesh Sivan was a Monday because they added an extra day to that Iyar. They had a different Masorah than the Baraisa we quoted before, that the Baraisa of Iyar was Chaser. Their Masorah was that the month of Iyar that year was Malay, and that pushed Rosh Chodesh Sivan further another day to Monday. Okay. Amarle Rav Chavivi mechazonol Rav Ashi. Rav Chavivi said to Rav Ashi, Toshma, come in here, another Baraisa. It says, Vayiba Chodesh HaRishon, Bashana HaShenis. This is now the second year. On Rosh Chodesh Nisan, second year, Be'echad HaChodesh Hukam HaMishkan. Right? The Mishkan was erected Rosh Chodesh Nisan the following year. Tana, there's a Mishnah that describes the various things that happened on that day. Also, Yom Notol Eser HaToros. That day took 10 crowns. Rishon L'Masa Bereishis. We know that there's a shita that holds that the world was created b'Nisan, right? It's Machlokas from the Ezra of Yoshua. One says it was created in Tishrei, one says created in Nisan. So this Mishnah says it's the first day of creation. It's really the first day of Adam HaRishon, because according to those shitas, the world was created on either the 25th day of Elul or the 25th day of Adar. And then the 6th day of creation, when Adam HaRishon was created, that's really Rosh Hashanah, according to both shitas. But anyways, so Rishon L'Masa Bereishis. Rishon L'Nesiim. It's the first day that the Nesiim were makriv their korbanos. Rishon L'Kahuna. It was the first time Peter's ancestors first worked in the Beis HaMikdash, because up until then, Moshe Rabbeinu did, for 7 days of the Miluim, Moshe Rabbeinu did all the avodah himself. He erected the Mishkan, he took down the Mishkan, did all the avodah. Then by Yom HaShmini was the first day that the Kohanim took over. Rishon Lavoda. And it was the first time that the avodah b'Mishkan took place. Rishon L'Yiridas Ha'esh. That and the psukim in Parsha Shmini tells us that the fire came down. Rishon lachilas kodshim. The first time that kodshim were eaten by the Kohanim. Rishon l'shikun shchina. The first day that the shchina, that there was Ashras HaShchina on the Mishkan. Rishon levarches Yisrael. The first time that the Kohanim did the Yivarechu Hashem, the Birchas Kohanim to Klal Yisrael. Rishon leIsra Bomus. Up until that time, they were, each family in the Midbar was allowed to offer certain korbanos oila, korbanos shlamim, on a backyard bama. Once the Mishkan was inaugurated, then there was then you couldn't offer bamos anymore. Now, of course, when they entered Canaan, those of us that are in the Navi Shir learned last week that when the Mishkan, when the Mizbeach and the Aron are separated, and they have to separate the Aron because they used the Aron to capture Yericho, so there's permission to do bamos again. So the 14 years of Sheva Shekivshu, Sheva Shechilku, where there was a necessity for the Aron to be with Yoshua, so there was Heter HaBamos again. Then there were 369 years that the Mishkan was in Shiloh, that there was prohibition of the Bamos, because again, the Aron and the Mizbeach are put together again. Then after the Plishtim destroyed the Mishkan in Shiloh, there were 57 years, 13 in the city of Nov, Yer Kohanim, and 44 years in the city of Givon, Nov and Givon, where again the Bamos were permitted. Then once Shlomo HaMelech built the Beis HaMikdash, they were prohibited forever, and we can never have Bamos. But up until then, up until Rosh Chodesh Nisan of the second year, Klal Yisrael in their own backyard in the Midbar could offer korbanos on a private bama. So the first day that there was Isra Bamos in the Midbar was Rosh Chodesh Nisan the second year, and Rishon l'Chadoshim, and it's the first day of the new of the months. Now, Umidaresh, and there was a Mesorah, Umidaresh Yarcha Nisan Da'ishat Achad B'Shabbos, that Rosh Chodesh Nisan of the second year was a Sunday, so the Ishtakad Revi B'Shabbos. So comes out that the year before, Rosh Chodesh Nisan had to fall on a Wednesday, because we're going to see, year by year, you're going to be off the day of the week by 4 days. Because, think about it, the solar calendar is a 365-day calendar. The lunar calendar is 354 days. So that's 11 days difference. So take a day of the week is 7 days. So 4 days, between year and year, there's always a 4-day difference. If this occurs on a Sunday, previously it'll be a Wednesday. The Shtaka B'Revi B'Shabbos. The Tanya, we have a Baraisa Acher Moimrim, Ein Bein Atzeres Latzeres. The Ein Bein Rosh Hashanah, Shavuos 1 year to Shavuos next year, or Rosh Hashanah 1 year to Rosh Hashanah next year, it's Arba Yomim Bilvad. So right now, we've proved what's the purpose of what the Gemara has just said, that Rosh Chodesh Nisan of the first year was a Wednesday. And now you're going to tell me the Rabbanan are getting out of their problem, right? Because we tried to force the Rabbanan to say, according to our Baraisa, Rosh Chodesh Sivan is a Sunday. So the Rabbanan say, no, that year, ER was a Ma'uber year. They added an extra month, an extra day to ER. So Freik the Gemara, Im Haisa Shana Muberes, Chamisha. If it's true that year was a Mu'uberes, then the difference between 1 year and the other year, you wouldn't be 4 days, it would be 5 days. And if the Baraisa says it was only 4 days, must be that ER was not Mu'uberes. And then comes out, Havalei Reish Yarcha, the ER Male Shabta, Rosh Chodesh of ER was Erev Shabbos, Reish Yarcha the Sivan Shabta. Based on the calculation we just did, that Rosh Chodesh Nisan of the first year was a Wednesday, comes out that Rosh Chodesh Sivan is neither not like Rabbi Yossi and not like the Rabbanon, because it comes out that it's Shabta. Kasha ben Rabbi Yossi ben Rabbanon. So, Li Rabbi Yossi Shiva Chaserin Avud. That year, they had 5 moles and 7 chaserim, which would have pushed Rosh Chodesh Sivan to Sunday. And L'Rabbanon Shmoisha Chaserim Avud, that year they made 8 months chaser and 4 months mole, which is what Walter was alluding to, that it's not always the same every year. And that's how that would push for the Chachamim Rosh Chodesh Sivan to Monday, not to Sunday.
By the way, Ernie, so just the halacha, you've got the paschal, the halacha, the order of the months, the Seder Chodashim, the halacha was not ruled according to the Acherim, and the months of the year follow a fixed order, alternately between 30 and 29 days of the month, beginning only in Teve. A year may have as many as 7 29-day months if Kislev is lacking or for a few of the incorporated months. So he says if Mar Cheshvan is full, so that's the halacha. So the halacha differs with the acherim over there.
Yeah, it's that we don't paskin like acherim. Now remember, Hillel Hasheni in the year 246 CE, something like that, set the calendar forever. So we have a kaviyas. Our calendar is set going forward. I mean, when our leap years are, when we don't have a bezdin, our calendars are set. So, but this is all a different time where, for example, how could they say that they wanted 8? Because the bezdin would push off the Eidim. If they needed another month that was closer, they wouldn't accept the Eidim until after Mincha Ma'al. We had many Gemaras like that in terms of how they manipulated the calendar if they needed it to be manipulated. Okay.